Hello, and thank you for joining me today on Loyal World Info. Another day of the globe spinning, another day of global news to digest. I offer a sane, rational voice in an insane, rational time. I will be your host, and let's get into today's topics. It is April 6, 2020, and the topics of the day are a Malaysian tiger catches the bug, a foreigner disobeys law and is chained on Nyepi. Indians light lamps to heed Moray's call. Philippines man killed for not following the law. Strange Japanese burglary in Iwamizawa, Hokkaido. Lao families lose farmland to Chinese grower. And an online university classes spark debate will demand for refunds. Stay tuned and let's get into it for today's stories. Of the day, a Malaysian tiger at New York Bronx Zoo tests positive for the bug. A tiger at the Bronx Zoo in New York City has tested positive for the respiratory disease caused by the novel coronavirus, in the first known case of a human infecting an animal that's making it sick, the zoo chief veterinarian said yesterday. Nabdai, the 4-year-old Malaysian tiger that tested positive, was screened for the bug disease and after developing a dry cough, along with the 3 other tigers and their lions. The Wildlife Conservation Society, which manages the zoos, said that the statement, all of the cats are expected to recover, is said. So this is my question on this whole issue. Since this virus has happened, how are SeaWorld, our zoos, how are they handling animal treatments? And also, if this is the case, that this zoo animal got it, every country has wild cats, wild dogs, wild snakes, whatever. How are we going to, I don't know, make sure that these animals are safe and they're not spreading the disease? Please leave your comments or thoughts below on this particular topic. I would be interested in hearing. And to our second topic of the day. You have no law. A foreigner chained after insisting he isn't breaking the law for jogging during Nyepi. Whether you're a local resident or a tourist, many people spend the Bali's day of Sinlis Nyepi on Wednesday by staying in, keeping their lights off and noise down, making use of this opportunity to join in on a day meant to self-reflect. At least one person, however, didn't follow the rules. In a widely circulating online video, an unidentified foreigner evidently got in an argument with the local parcel, which are basically the police, in Nusa Dong, as he insisted on going down the streets for a morning jog during Nepal. Nepal is a holiday. This is on Bali, Indonesia, by the way. Nepal. Here's what I want to point out. Nepal, as most people are aware, is a special day in Bali, synonymous with the whole island shutting down to mark the Hindu New Year. Retailers close their shops, with everyone, including tourists, expected to stay inside on a day where they are supposed to be free from a daily routine, including work and play. The only exception applies to the people who are enforcing the law. And so what they did is they ended up chaining this person to a pole so he couldn't move, and because they sent him home. He kept coming back out, sent him home, and he kept coming back out. Please remember, when you visit, whether you're a tourist or a foreign worker or whatever, when you visit a country, you must respect their culture and obey their laws. Do not be a special snowflake. So you won't get ahead. So here's my question for you. What do you guys think about either when foreigners come into your land and they disobey your laws, or are you the tourist who wants the center of attention when you travel somewhere? Please leave your thoughts below. I'd be interested in hearing. Moving on to our next topic of the day. Indians light lamps to heed Morty's call for the bug pandemic. Anyway, actually, I thought this was originally in Indonesia, but it ended up being India. So my first India article on India for my station. Anyway, millions of Indians turned off their lights and lit up balconies and doorsteps with the lamps, candles, and flashlights on Sunday in response to the Prime Minister's Mori's appeal to challenge the darkness spread by the bug. Mori, who imposed a 3-week long nationwide lockdown on March 25th, asked all citizens to turn out their lights for 9 minutes at 9 p.m. local time on Sunday and to display lamps and candles to show in a show of solidarity. Macau's call was not met with a huge response, with many people lighting up their balconies. Others lit firecrackers, played musical instruments, and sang patriotic songs. Grid data showed that India's national power consumption plunged more than a quarter in a matter of minutes. The show of unity came in a total number of cases increased. Some officials warned that lockdowns could contribute to this, but I'm going to leave off at that. But my whole thing was this was an inspiring article to write about, again, a nation coming together. So that's what I want to ask you. How is your community coming together? How is your neighborhood block? How is your workplace? How is your family coming together? Leave your comments below. I want to know. Our next article. This one takes place in the Philippines. The Philippines police shot dead a man for floating the curfew rules. A 63-year-old man was shot dead in the Philippines after threatening village officials and police with a scythe at a checkpoint. A scythe, by the way, is a farm tool. According to the report on the man, he's believed to have been drunk when he threatened the village officials and police manning the checkpoint in the town of Nyepi in the southern province of Argentina. Okay. On Thursday, the police report said the suspect was cautioned by the village health worker for not wearing a face mask, the report said. But the suspect got angry, uttering provoking words, and eventually attacked the personnel using the scythe. The suspect was shot dead by a police officer who was trying to pacify him. Pacify means calm down. The incident is the first reported case of a police shooting a civilian for refusing to follow the restrictions to curb the spread of whatever. President Rodrigo had warned on Wednesday that he would order the police and the military to shoot anyone who created trouble. Follow the government at this time because it is critical that we have order, he said at a late-night televised national address. And do not harm the health workers and the doctors because that is a serious crime. My orders to the police and the military. If anyone creates trouble and their lives are in danger, shoot them dead. Okay, my thoughts. If you remember a few years ago, this president also said we should just kill all drug dealers. If you're convicted of selling drugs, you know that you could be shot dead. So they kind of have a low tolerance on crime. Okay, but anyway, what are your thoughts? You know, would you like to have like these hard? I mean, when I was in the Philippines, I would have these kind of guards standing all over with these heavy machine guns. I was scared even as a tourist in their capital city. So that's why I had like no desire to go back there. So how would you feel if these armed guards were all over? And what do you think about people that are breaking the laws? Anyway, leave your comments below. I'd love to hear about you. Moving on to our next story. This one takes place in Japan today. The home invader makes an elderly woman feed him, then gives her 10 masks in return. Now comes another mask-related crime, but with a twist. Actually, there are several weird surprises involving in this case. So let's get into the story that I want to share. At 11 a.m. one morning on March 31st, an 88-year-old woman living in Kagogaksu neighborhood was startled when a man barged into her home through an unblocked back door. The man said to be in his mid-50s or early 60s, had a saw, which he was waving around as he advanced into the house. "Give me food," the man shouted repeatedly. And so the woman did just that. And with usually thoroughly hospitality, considering the circumstance, I gave him both rice and osaku, the woman said, later referring to the main course of non-rice sides. That made the traditional Japanese meal. I think he broke in because he was hungry. Rather than take his order to go, the man ate his brunch right there, and even asked for a refill of his bowl, which the woman provided. When he was done, he had another demand. He said, "Give me money." So I gave him 2,000 yen. That's about 20 US dollars. The woman said, except according to reports. Apparently, it was enough to satisfy the man because he took the offered bills and left, but not before leaving behind a stack of about 10 masks for the woman. All anyone can currently do is speculate as the man's physique, but it seems that as though he gave the woman the mask as a way to say sorry for robbing you. You could even argue that at the current market, 10 masks are more valuable than 20,000 yen or 20 US dollars and a meal. Even one with double helpings in rice. Yes, because the guy did ask for seconds. In the normal time, a 10-pack of masks will run you about 500 yen at a drugstore in Japan, but the bug fears have made them be sold out for weeks. So the question becomes, why did the man rob somebody? I don't know. So leave your comments on this below. This was a really interesting burglary, and I thought I just wanted to share it with you. And I don't know. To our next story. This one takes place in Laos. Lao villagers lose farmland to a Chinese banana grower. Villagers in Laos say a Chinese-owned banana plantation was unfairly acquired by the land of 46 families in the northern part of the country. The 46 families had 148 acres of land in the whole village. They were each paid 1,200 US dollars or 11 million kip. When the plans for the banana plantation were revealed, several of the families refused to sell. They were taken into the local police station to be re-educated, according to one of the officials. The district authorities summoned 3 people to the police station and held them for about a week until they gave up their land, the villagers said. They said they were coerced into it. The villagers said that prior to the forced sale, the families lived on the land by growing rice and maize. After one of the villagers had a seizure, the families had no farmland and are experiencing hardship. Okay, so I wanted to bring this up. While there are a lot of cases like this, in bribery officials. But when I visited Laos long ago, China wanted to build a train going from India to China, and it would cut through all the mountains and damage streams and whatnot, and they would only let Chinese workers build the railroads, and they were going to charge Lao for it. The Lao government said, no, thank you, we don't want your help. We want to preserve our culture, our people, and everything. Similar to Vietnam. But in the past few years, they have been taking more of a China side for money and economic growth, but giving up the rights of their people and their land. And so it kind of saddens me because Laos, to me, was one of the most beautiful places in all Asia. And that's why I kind of love Vietnam, is that they've always kind of said no, no, no. I do hope Laos returns back to how I remember it. But anyway, my question for you is what have you had to give up that was valuable to you in this or different desperate times in your life? How do you feel about it now? Would you make the same choice? Moving on to our last article of today. This one actually was written in a Korean newspaper, but it had relevance for America and all students across the world. Online classes sparks demands for university fee refunds. Universities have been offering only online classes since early March amid the bug epidemic. But the unprecedented step has led to some students asking for their money back. Many complain that it is unfair to charge them full tuition for rudimentary services and no use of university facilities, while others are dismayed by the quality of online classes. But universities claim that their expenditures are virtually the same, whether they teach online or offline. Tuition costs anywhere between 2 million and 7 million won, so that's about $7,000 in some cases. The biggest complaint is the quality of online teaching. One 24-year-old student at Korea University said, poor image quality makes it nearly impossible to read what the professor writes on the blackboard. Philosophy professor said at the university drew criticism from posting an online lecture that was taped 16 years ago. Daejeon University uploaded a video of the venture capitalism that was already available for free to anyone. So this is my question. Why? Yes, it goes on. But a week or two ago, I read about Stanford and Harvard were closed down, but they were themselves not given any refunds. Or even the people that lived at the dorms, they had to go back home, but they still were charged for the full dorm time. I think it was during University Katrina or whatever, that there was a time when the university students couldn't go, and they put the students on a cruise boat to make up for it so they could still learn. So, yeah, in this case, what do you think? Are universities actually getting their money's worth? Are they providing for their money's worth, or should there be a change about this? This is something that affects everybody. And as for these teachers, that's why I use Adobe Classrooms or PowerPoints, so I can make sure my students can see everything easily. So let me know about your comments on this topic below. I would love it. Thank you. Well, that will conclude Loyal World News. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Feel free to like, subscribe, or drop a comment below. If you're on the go, listen to my podcast with the link provided in the description. I will see you tomorrow to share more world news.